the ball straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now this is when they're at their best. That's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Andre New Zealand.
Do I need love to be immortality as an athlete? 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel and I'm very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving around the world of sports. To put out menu this evening, we shall take a look at the relief of Mauricio Pochettino of his job as Chelsea Football Club manager, as well as the Europa League final encounter tonight between Bayer Leverkusen and Atalanta. It promises to be an exciting one today, so we urge you to stay close to your TV sets as we're ready to take you 360 around the water sport. To take a short break, and when we come back from this break, we'll bring you all that you need to know revolving around the water sports. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Right again. Oh, fight for him. He does the right hand and down goes the ball straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now this is when they're at their best. That's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Andre New Zealand.
Do I need love to be immortality as an athlete? 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Welcome back as the Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me on today's edition of the show is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to sports fans. Of course, it's another beautiful evening here in this part of the climb, and the weather is very clement this evening here.
Let's start the show with tennis this evening as for the second consecutive year, the World Table Tennis Contender will be taking place in Lagos with Nigeria International Aruna Quadri headlining the players that will participate in the competition. According to a statement from the organizers, Quadri is slated to make his first Contender Series appearance on home soil next month in Lagos. Another notable Nigerian player in the men's single is world number 96 Omotoyo Olajide, who also just secured a place at the Paris Olympic. In the female category, Adamafyong, Fatima Bello, Hope Udoka, and Ojoko Ojumo are the top Nigerian stars in the category. At least 28 Nigerians will be in contention for the $80,000 prize money placed on the tournament. Michael, what do you make of first of all, what do you make of Lagos, of course, hosting the World Table Tennis Championship for the second time?
Very happy, not just for Lagos, but for the entire nation, because this is an international table tennis competition. So we are not using Lagos as a point of contact, but then using Nigeria as a point to reach the world out there. So for me, I think I'm pretty much happy. And for Lagos State, then again, it's a good one for Lagos State, but I think it's a good one for Nigeria at large, because knowing fully well that such an international competition is coming down to the country called Nigeria. It doesn't matter wherever you find yourself, nobody actually pays attention whether it is Lagos State. What they know that is that such massive competition is taking place here in Nigeria. That is what is very, very important for me, and I think it's a great one because it looks as though we are putting our country on the map when you talk about tennis across the globe for the good reasons. This is the second time that we are having this kind of a big opportunity to host the rest of the world, where most of the tennis stars will converge here in the country. I think for me it's a massive achievement for the table tennis, for the Tennis Federation of Nigeria. And I tell you, if you can continue to maintain the standard, I see even more bigger opportunities, more bigger competition being hosted here in the country called Nigeria, which for me I think is a good one for the country, a good one for the image of the Table Tennis Federation of Nigeria, and in all, it is working well for the good of the country, and we need to also seize this opportunity to ensure that at least we'll be able to harness the talents that we have cut across different states here, so that they can also be on the world map in terms of their prowess. When you talk about some of the notable names across this globe, so long as tennis is concerned, have the likes of Haruna Quadri, Funke Oshinaike, to mention, but the rest, Fatima Bello as well. Them, I think we are doing great, but then they still need to do a whole lot so that we can be able to churn out more talent, so that we do not just participate in some of this competition, but to participate and also stake a claim when it has to do with the medals and the money that comes with it. Take a look at the monetary aspect that comes with this very one, $80,000, such a huge money. So if any Nigerian tennis player out there get this one, I think it's going to add a lot to the economy of the nation here in Nigeria. So for me, generally, I want to say it's a big victory for the Tennis Federation of Nigeria, and also it's a big victory for Nigeria, knowing fully well that the rest of the world is converging here in Nigeria for the good reason, just that Nigeria is hosting the rest of the world. I think for me, it's a kudos and a plus to us.
A huge one, of course, for Nigeria, Lagos as well. Lagos precisely at this point in time where we'll see the World Table Tennis Championship being held once again. But away from that, let's talk long tennis at the moment, as Carlos Alcaraz has made no secret of his ultimate goal to be the greatest tennis player of all time. The 21-year-old Spaniard knows, of course, he has a long way from getting anywhere near the record set by Novak Djokovic. But having won 2 majors as a teenager and become the youngest men's world #1 in history, he has made a promising start. Asked by newsmen if he is still targeting Djokovic's all-time leading tally of 24 major titles, Alcaraz answered, and he said, "Yes, of course, I am an ambitious guy. I know it is almost impossible to break Novak's record, but I'm playing tennis for myself, for joy, and I want to do great things. I want to be part of tennis history." What do you make of Alcaraz's ambition of becoming the greatest tennis players of all time?
I think for me, Kingsley, it's a very tall ambition, and the question would be, can he actually attain that height? Can he actually, live that dream? It's a question that he needs to answer by himself. But taking a look at his, personal development, his prowess, what he brings to the table, and considering his age, you want to say yes, he has what it takes to, or at least etch his name on the annal of history as one of the greatest. But then he still needs to do a lot in terms of consistency, in terms of improving his game pattern, and in terms of actually holding it down when he meet up with some of the big guns out there, the likes of Yannick Sinner, the likes of Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal is aging. Some of these big name players, they are aging. The likes of Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, these are players that have made their mark, in the system as well. And at some point, there was this discussion that Carlos Alcaraz might probably become the new face of the ATP That is the main aspect of the tennis. But then his lack of consistency have also, make him to drop down the pecking orders, the new poster boy of the ATP, where we've seen, Yannick Sinner actually giving Novak Djokovic a run for his money. As most time when they meet, Yannick Sinner have always had the beta of Novak Djokovic, but whenever Novak Djokovic get to meet with Carlos Alcaraz, most time Carlos Alcaraz does not live up to that big hype, that big expectation where you expect him to go to toe-to-toe, neck-to-neck against Novak Djokovic. So for me, I think it's a tall dream, for him. It's a great ambition that he has set for himself. But can he actually attain this? It's a big question that he needs to answer for himself. But for me, looking at his potentials, what he has in him, I believe that if he work more, and remain consistent, I think he's definitely going to attain that height. But for the time being, I think his consistency is something that we need to, ask so many questions, because many times when you expect Carlos Alcaraz to come to the party, to live up to that high hype, where he has placed himself, he tend to crumble, he tend to falter, So for me, I think these are some of the basic things that you need to do. He need to improve in different areas of his game. He need to maintain consistency. He need to be able to show that he has the strength, mental strength, skills-wise to match up with the big guns like Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, Dani Medvedev, before we can truly take him serious. But for now, I think the dream of any young player there is to make history for himself. But then it is not good enough for you to keep dreaming, keep wishing that you intend to. But I think that dream will become actualized only if he pay much attention to developing and also improving in different areas of his game, and to also maintain consistency, because that is a key. If you are not consistent, nobody is going to take you for serious, because if you get to any major competition, either the US Open, Roland Garros, French Open, and you'll be able to show some of those flashes in one or two games out there, when you meet up with the big boys out there, that expectation is already high, because you have set standard for yourself, and you cannot maintain that standard. Nobody takes you serious. So for me, I think you should maintain the standard. You should maintain consistency. You should also try to live up to that high hype when he meet up against some of the big guns. And that is when people will begin to take his statement very serious. But for now, I will go with the word of Tupac. Somebody wake me, I'm dreaming.
Let's see how it goes for Carlos Alcaraz. Can he get this one done? He said he wants to be the greatest tennis player of all time. And that also brings us to the question, what does it take for one to be the greatest tennis players of all time? Because you take a look at it in the ATP, of course, when you talk about the greatest tennis players of all time, you mention Novak Djokovic. He's been the one with the highest number of Grand Slam. Apart from in the female category where you have Margaret Court, also have 24 Grand Slam as well. So what does it take for one to be, or for one to put up such kind of performance, just like we've seen from Novak Djokovic as well?
It takes tenacity, it takes doggedness, selfless sacrifice in terms of your training regimen. It takes for you to maintain consistency, and these are some of the basic things that it takes for you to be up there with the likes of the great, the likes of Novak Djokovic, the likes of Rafael Nadal. It takes you to be consistent. It takes you to show that dedication, that passion. Showing passion is not enough. You must also back it up with that skills, that consistency. You must back it up with that tangible proof of your talent, because every player within the ATP, they have the talent, but can you prove the talent? This is the question. There are so many persons that have talent that they cannot unearth that talent in them. So it takes that dedication, selfless service, that sacrifice for you to be able to say, yes, I want to meet up, with the likes of Novak Djokovic, the likes of, Rafael Nadal. You must sacrifice a lot, for you to improve on your game and maintain that consistency, like I've said earlier. That is what it takes for you to be able to make your name ring bell in the heart of men, in the heart of tennis lover, in the heart of the sport all over the world. Before your name will be heard and say, yes, so person is to be reckoned with a particular sport. Just like when you mention Michael Schumacher now, definitely your mind will go to Formula One. You know, when you mention maybe golf, you talk about Tiger Woods, definitely you know where you are heading to. When you talk about football, there are certain names. What makes this person stand out, you know, tall among the rest? Is their consistency, is their dedication, is their proven track record, is their consistency. These are some of the things that keep them relevant, you know, in the certain sport that they find themselves. So these are the basic things that Carlos Alcaraz must do if he truly want to, you know, push himself up to the likes of to the likes of Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. It's very simple.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how Carlos Alcaraz will journey his way to become the greatest tennis players of all time.
It's going to be a big journey for him. Or maybe trekking from Nigeria down to South Korea on foot.
All right, let's see how it goes for the man. Let's talk about the NBA this evening as the Boston Celtics beat the Indiana Pacers 133 to 28, 128 in overtime in game 1 of for the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtic, Jalen Brown scored a three-pointer with 6 seconds remaining in level, 6 seconds remaining to level the scores at 117 to 117 and take the game to overtime at the TD Garden in Boston. Jason Tatum, who finished with 36 points, scored 3-pointer, and Derek White a layup in quick succession inside the final minute to make the game safe for the top-seeded Celtic, and that's one. Michael, what do you make of it? Boston Celtics taking the lead in the Eastern Conference semi-final ahead of the Indiana Pacers.
I'm not surprised. Why? Because Boston Celtic is the first team to qualify from the normal regular season either before heading off to the playoff. They've been very, very, you know, impeccable so far this season. They've been very, very good, you know, and thanks to their coach as well, who have also been very, very good in trying to dish out the instruction and in trying to galvanize his team to get, you know, the positive result. Than players such as Brown and Jason Tatum, you need to also give them kudos for what they've done over the course of this season. They've been very, very imperious in their display so far. At some point, when you look as though, you know, they are at the brink of a loss, you just see that Brown or Jason Tatum coming to the party to rescue them, and that is what happened in their game against Indiana Pacers, where they had about they were down by 114 to 117 against the Indiana Pacers with just 6 seconds remaining, but you know, Brown came to the party. He was able to use that 6 seconds to at least get 3 valuable points, which actually, you know, draw them level 117 apiece before they actually nick that one on the board. So I think for Boston Celtics, they've been very fantastic so far this season. They've taken their form from the regular season down to the playoff. You know, so then again, for Indiana Pacers, it must also give them kudos because they've actually struggled a lot so far this season with injuries to a couple of their players out there, but then they still were able to get this far. So for me, I think you must also give them kudos for what they have done so far. But it's just that Boston Celtics looks to be that team that never give up, even, you know, when time is not on their side. You still see 1 or 2 of their players coming to the party to rescue them, to bail the cards for them, just like what Brown did, you know, yesterday. So for me, I think it's a big one, but then it is game 1 because it's not done and dusted.
Game 1, not done and dusted yet. We hear that game 2 will take place at Cambridge Field House in Indianapolis early as for tomorrow. Now, the winners of the best of 7 series will face the Minnesota Timberwolves or Dallas Mavericks, who meets in the Western Conference Final and the NBA.
everybody need to find a way to be able to sort out this. And by using fire brigade approach, it simply means that the best team that were ought to represent us in the CAF organized competition will not be picked, because using fire brigade approach, how are you going to do it? You're just going to rally around within a short period of time, to work out things on how to bring teams together and try to fix a competition for them to see if they can be able to, finish early so that we can meet up with the CAF deadline. And that does not help us to give out a good representation out there. So it's a big problem. Many times when we come on as sports journalists to state the obvious that our league need to be properly structured, it need to be properly organized, the calendar need to be, clearly stated so that it will align with that of CAF, because CAF, so long as I'm concerned, so long as football is concerned here in the continent, they stand tall. They are the apex. So whatever you are doing at the base, you must also align your calendar to meet up, to be in sync non or in synergy with that of CAF. And we have failed to do so. You cannot allow, or you cannot expect CAF to lower their standard just because they want to accommodate you. It doesn't work out that way. So the only option left for us is to use the fire brigade approach, so that we can be able to fish out teams that can be able to represent us out there. And if we use the fire brigade approach, like I said earlier, it's going to haunt us, because we are not going to present the best team that is going to lead us. So for me, it's a big problem, one that calls for the NPFL organizing committee and the board itself to go back and start doing the needful. I try to see how we can be able to align our calendar so that it will meet up with that of CAF, so that we don't have this issue of fire brigade approach, because as I stand right now, 15th of next month, it's just behind us.
All right, let's see how it goes. We hope that the league board, talking about the Nigerian Premier Football League Board, will look for means in order to see how to solve this situation at the moment. But we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back from the break, we'll be taking a look at the 33-man provisional squad from Garrett Southgate, for the Heroes. Well, here the 33-man squad, of course, will be reduced to 26 later on. But at the moment, we're going to take a look at that squad and see some players that have been excluded from that particular one. We'll be joined by Francis Etim. Of course, he'll be taking us through on that particular one as well. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay with us.
Is this winner after best? And winner 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Auckland, New Zealand.
Well, he'd love to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's a goal. Greenwoods went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it.
Right again. Fight for him. He tries the right hand, and down goes Hooper straight away.
Slam. Yup. Keeper behind. But the Fiasi.
Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now is this winner after best? And winner 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Auckland, New Zealand.
Well, he'd love to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's a goal.
Welcome back. It's the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, it's time for we to bring you football in Europe down there. A lot, of course, is happening at the moment, and it's all about the Hero, the 2024 Heroes, and England. They are in top-notch preparation ahead of the tournament. We told you that Gary Southgate, the manager of the Three Lions of England, of course, has actually put up a 33-man provisional squad for the Heroes, and we saw a lot of names, being excluded from that particular one. The likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Rich James, the likes of Ben White, Jordan Sancho, as well, Calvin Phillips. These are some names, of course, that were not, of course, that were excluded from that list. I talk about Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson, of course, was also excluded from that particular one. But Michael, what do you make up for the exclusion of these players?
Yeah, for me, I think I'm not surprised by the exclusion of so many of the big names out there. I'm only surprised about the exclusion of Jadon Sancho, who has been very, very good. He has been in a phenomenal form for a certain Dortmund side so far this season, after leaving Manchester United to go on loan at his parent club, which is Dortmund. I think he's been very, very good so far. He's been very, very instrumental for the Dortmund side. He also helping them to get to the Champions League final, where they will be locking horns against Real Madrid. I think I'm surprised why he wasn't included in that list. Then again, another player that I was a little bit taken aback why he wasn't included is Ben White of Arsenal. He has been at the thick of events in the Arsenal team so far this season as they continue running to see if they were able to catch up with Manchester City, which ended in disarray at the last game where they actually came second behind Manchester City. I think I was also surprised. Out of the Chelsea squad so far this season, Reece James, had a long time out from for injury on the Chelsea side. He's just coming back from injury, and you don't expect Gary Southgate to also pick him along. The likes of Jadon Henderson have not also maintained consistent form after
Mason Mount as well.
Yeah, Mason Mount have had majority of his time at Manchester United on the bench out there. You see that he comes back, after a long injury spell. Then when you expect him to hit that form, he goes back to injury again. So for me, I'm not that surprised about the exclusion of Raheem Sterling, Reece James, Mason Mount. So for me, because they've not been very, very consistent so far this season. But then again, I think for Gary Southgate, he knows the reason why he had to exclude some of these players, because he is the man that is wearing the shoe. And of course, you know that the English national team job is very, very demanding. It's likened to the Super Eagles job here, where most of the fans are coaches themselves. They tell you what you ought to do as a coach even before a match gets started. So the job is very demanding, and for such a job that is very demanding, you need to be at your peak. You need to, you need to wash your eyes, in the water for you to be able to select the best, out of the arrays of stars that the English national team squad boasts this time around, to be able to pick the best that can go out there in the Euros and at least do something incredible for the English national team that have also, come short of the high hope and expectation of the English. Because the last time I think the English national team also made a headline for the good reason, sport-wise, football-wise, it's 1966. It's about 50-something years down the line. But under Gary Southgate, he's been able to try to see if he can be able to revitalize and revamp that English national team, to at least to a level where they will say, yes, they are now, a title contender. And we saw that in 2018 World Cup. We saw that in the Euro of 2021. So for me, I think he's the man that wears the shoe. He knows where he pinches, and that is why he has to make his selection, devoid of sentiment. But he made his selection based on the form of each player. Don't forget that Gary Southgate has been going around the stadia, has been going around the different match venues in England to keep his eye on some of these players as well, and that is why he was able to pick the best. He feels these are the players that is going to help him, get the job done for him.
All right, let's see how it goes at this point in time. Those players, they have been excluded from the 33-man provisional squad at this point in time, and we'll see what Gary Southgate, of course, will be able to do. We hear the squad will be trimmed to 26 at this point in time, and we'll look forward to see how Gary Southgate will be able to galvanize the team for them to, of course, win something huge, for the Three Lions or for England. Away from that, Cristiano Ronaldo is likely to set a hero record after he was named in Portugal's 26-man 2024 squad unveiled yesterday by coach Roberto Martinez. A 39-year-old five-time Ballon d'Or winner will be appearing in his 11th major international tournament. He played his first at Hero 2004 and will be making a record 6 appearances at the Men's Continental Championship. He collected a winner's medal in France in 2016, even though he went off injured after 35 minutes in the final. Ronaldo, who plays his club football for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, already holds the men's world record caps of 206 and international goals of 128 before facing the Czech Republic, Turkey, and then Georgia in Group F, all for the hero from 11th of June to the 14th of July in Germany. The Selecco will play warm-up matches against Finland, Croatia, and Ireland alongside Ronaldo in attack. Martinez has selected strikers such as Rafael Leao, Joe Felix, Gonzalo Ramos, as well as Pedro Neto and Francisco Conceição. The creative midfielders include Bernardo Silva, who has just won an English title with Manchester City, and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. Let's see how it goes for the man at 39 years of age, Michael Ronaldo, still looking very, very energetic to get something huge for Portugal.
Yeah, I think he's been very phenomenal, a legend of the game out there. You can't actually, underemphasize what he has done for the Portuguese national team and for the world of football generally. Making about 206 national team appearance, scoring 128 goals is no mean feat. He has shattered so many records out there. He's still very much strong, still going. So for me, if I were to be the coach of the Portuguese national team, I would also pick this kind of player because he's an experience to the younger ones out there. You saw the last game where they played in their national team out there, where he was actually dropped in the World Cup game. Ronaldo was dropped in place of Gonzalo Ramos, who also fired blanks. At some point, people began to criticize the coach. They were very critical of the coach dropping Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench. But I think that actually had a bit of problem between Cristiano Ronaldo and the coach out there, but I think they've been able to solve that. So for me, if I were the coach of the Portuguese national team, I would definitely pick Cristiano Ronaldo because of what he brings to the table, because of his experience, his dedication to the national team, and as well, it's a source of a motivation and a role model to so many players out there, even in the national team. So you cannot actually ignore such a player. At 39 years old, he's still doing massive things out there, even though some person might want to say, yes, he's playing his trade in an unknown league, in a farmers league, but then I tell you, the competition at the Saudi Pro League since Cristiano Ronaldo came over there, I think has been very, very massive, and that is why, he was able, the Saudi Pro League were able to attract the likes of Neymar, the likes of Benzema, the likes of N'Golo Kante, Mitrovic, to mention but a few. So for me, and he's still banging in the goals, which is very, very important. He's still very fit. He's not a player that plays, 2 games and the rest 5 games you hear that he has gone to injury. He's still very much fit. So for me, I think it's a great one for that coach to invite him into the national team. He brings a whole lot of experience into the team. He brings a whole lot of motivation into the team. He gingers most of the players out there, to also carry the burden of the team in their shoulder out there. So for me, I think it's a massive one for Cristiano Ronaldo. I believe this is going to be his last, Euros for the Portuguese national team. And I tell you, it has been a very, very good career for him out there in his national team.
Impressive one for Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll see how far the man will be able to go this time around. Can he get something huge for Portugal this time? We'll see how that one will go. But let's quickly move on now as we'll take a look at Chelsea Football Club at the moment, because it's not been that rosy at the moment at Chelsea Football Club. As we hear that the management of Chelsea, they parted ways with the coach of the side, Mauricio Pochettino. Michael, this actually came as a surprise, to so many persons, especially Chelsea faithfuls. What do you make of the decision of Chelsea board to part ways with Mauricio Pochettino?
Not sensational at all. It's not a very sensational decision from the Chelsea board. Bringing in Mauricio Pochettino in a period where the board actually did a massive clear out of the most experienced team, most experienced players in the team, bringing a race of different stars from different walks of life to, conglomerate them. A young squad that does not have experience, the experience they should have gotten from some of the experienced players in Chelsea, you let them go. The likes of Azpilicueta, the likes of Pulisic, the likes of Loftus-Cheek, the likes of Mendy, the likes of Kovacic, Kai Havertz. You let such an experienced player, even Rudiger, you let some of, in short, most of the experienced players in Chelsea to leave, and you bring in a young, talented players, that came from different clubs, different background, different philosophy, and you are expecting Mauricio Pochettino to do a magic, overnight by transforming them into a Champions League contender or even a league contender for just 1 year. I think for me that was very, very harsh. We understand how they actually struggled throughout the whole season, but then at the finishing end, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. They won 5 straight games, finishing 6th, handing you an European qualification ticket. That is if only Manchester United does not win against Manchester City. It's an automatic qualification for the Europa. But even if Manchester United get to win Manchester City in the FA Cup come weekend, Chelsea still stand a chance of playing in Europe, but then in the 3rd tier of Europe. This is a team that was seated in 12th position for a majority of the season. This is a team that had most of their key and little experienced players injured for majority of the season. The likes of their captain, Rich James, Chilwell, even at some point, Thiago Silva got injured as well. These are players, the new ones that they brought in to fill in this void. Likes of Christopher Nkunku, all were injured for majority of the season. Yet you are expecting this coach to give you a Champions League ticket to contend for a match against the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal for the league. No, I think for me it was a very, very wrong decision, very harsh one. Especially looking at the way Mauricio Pochettino actually finished the season. You could see that blending was there. That chemistry, began to be revealed to the world that this is what Mauricio Pochettino is planning. The players, they were able to gel gradually. They were getting to understand themselves, and they were in love with the coach, and the coach is in love with them, and the backroom staff, and the footballing philosophy is gradually taking an entire different shape from what we know of Chelsea, who often play the kick and follow kind of football. You can see a clear-cut pattern of play under Mauricio Pochettino. They are possessive base. I mean, in English Premier League so far this season, they are among the teams that have created most chances in the EPL. Their problem is the conversion rate. And of course, you cannot blame Mauricio Pochettino because they don't have a center forward, a reliable center forward. Nicholas Jackson that they brought in from Villarreal is not a center forward. He's a supporting striker. Sometimes he was being deployed on the wing, but the young man is trying to manage this young lad to see if they can be able to get a positive result at the tail end of the season, where they seem to, gradually, getting to understand themselves. There was this mojo, there was this connection, understanding among the players in the pitch of play. Suddenly, you woke up with a very rash decision by letting him go. For me, I think it's a very, very wrong decision, and they are making a statement to the fact that they need a dynamic coach, a coach that plays a progressive football. I begin to wonder what kind of football is Mauricio Pochettino is playing. Is he not playing a progressive football? Is he not playing a dynamic football? They also talked about the fact that they want a young coach. How old is Mauricio Pochettino? He's still very young at 52.
Years.
So for me, I think it was a complete wrong decision for the Chelsea Football Club. And you see that from the body language and the statement of the players out there. If you go all over social media, in their personal handles, you can see that the players are very sad. They are not happy letting Mauricio Pochettino to. I think this is going to, haunt Chelsea if care is not taken. If they don't get to appoint the right manager that can be able to build. For me, I think that is what he's doing because he has spent a lot of, fortune, covering out about 1.something billion, to splash on such a young squad. You expect him to get a result. I think for me, I understand his own perspective that after spending so much as a businessman, you need to recoup benefit, you need to get profit. You look as though that profit is not coming, and that is why he had to, they have to leave on a mutual consent. That must also be, clarified. Chelsea did not sack Mauricio Pochettino. He left on a mutual consent. They had to sit down on a table, to table their issues. This is what I want. And this is what Mauricio Pochettino. They said, okay, if I was unable to meet up, no problem. Let me take my leave. They left on a very good mutual consent. That is to say that Mauricio Pochettino can still come back to Chelsea any day, anytime. He's very much welcome. And that is what I'm very, very happy because they did not go in the way of maybe quarrels that lead to him being relieved of his appointment. But then I think for Todd Bowley, is tilting towards the direction of the former owner, talking about Ibrahimovic. He gives you the money. What is your problem? You ask you as a coach. You say this is the player that you need. He gives you that player. He gives you the money to go to the market. But he will also give you his condition. I need trophies. I need so at the end of the season, if you cannot be able to deliver on the agreement, he lets you go and bring in another player. Another coach that is going to deliver the trophy. And that is why it looks as though Chelsea has been one of the successful clubs in England in the past 10-15 years right now because they are result oriented. They give you the money to spend, but then you must also give them the trophy to show for it. And it looks as though Todd Bowley is towing towards that direction. I see it as a normal businessman. After investing so much, I didn't make any gain. It's time for me to let him go. So for me, in their decision making.
Taking a look at the approach of Chelsea parting ways with Mauricio Pochettino. What do you think will be in the mind of for the next manager that will be coming down to manage this team?
It's very simple. Just like you know, the biblical word that say "mene mene teke yufasi." You know, he has been weighed. Some of the coaches that are coming, they have been weighed and find one thing, that Mauricio Pochettino did not give Chelsea the title, and that is why they let him go. So before you are coming in, you must be able to also say, yes, I think I can solve the puzzle of giving the owner the title.
Winning the league,
Possibly
qualifying for Champions League, maybe winning the Champions League itself.
Possibly, maybe not winning the Champions League, but at least getting Chelsea back into
Top
you know,
four.
Competing for the league, and that entails that you will finish within the top 4 region. Then again, if you get the FA Cup, fine. You know, this is what they are thinking about. So any manager that is coming, before you take up the job, you must have been able to, you know, sit down, analyze the situation, and put yourself in the shoe. And if you are good to go, then you can throw your heart into the ring. And we hear so many young managers has also been muted to be in line for Chelsea's job. The likes of Maresca, the likes of McNair, the likes of you know, the Brentford coach as well. You know, also that is Thomas Frank as is also there. The likes of you know, Girona coach. There are so many of them. Hoffenheim coach, Stuttgart. These are some of the best coaches that have also lined up. But then no official statement yet. But then coming back to your question, any manager that is coming to take up the Chelsea coach right now, we truly know that indeed there is a lot that is expected of him.
All right, tonight there will be Europa Cup, you know, final. Bayer Leverkusen against Atalanta. Michael, where do you think the pendulum will swing to? Bayer Leverkusen are on 15-game unbeaten record at the moment. Where do you think, you know, this one will, you know, swing to tonight? Will it be for Bayer Leverkusen as they continue their unbeaten record, or Atalanta might possibly, you know, end the unbeaten record of Bayer Leverkusen this season?
I think tonight is going to be a very, very tough game, but I have my sentiment, though my sentiment cut across, you know, the two divide, because for Atalanta, we have our own Ademola Lookman, who has done well for so far this season for the Atlanta side. Then again, on the other divide, Bayern Leverkusen, we have our own Boniface and Nathan Teller. So my heart is telling me, let me go for Atalanta, but my head is as well is telling me to go for Bayern Leverkusen. But taking a look at the record of Bayern Leverkusen so far this season, you want to give it to Bayern Leverkusen. And again, if Bayern Leverkusen get to win it, then we are talking about the African you know, footballer of the year. Then Victor Boniface will be in the mix, and that is why I'll be, you know, pinching my tent with Bayern Leverkusen, because if they get to win it, then